Okay, so we have shown that the two operations, addition and multiplication on F, are well defined. So that means if we are taking any two elements from the set F of equivalence classes, we add them, that addition is well defined and the result is in F, and similarly with multiplication. So now we are going to verify one by one the remaining properties that will make turn F into a field. So we start by considering three elements in F. We need three elements for showing that the operations are associative. Okay. Since AB plus CD, by definition this is AD plus BC, comma BD. Now keeping in mind that these elements A, B, C, D, they are coming from an integral domain which is a commutative ring, we can write these parts of this, it has two parts, right? So we can write the parts slightly differently like this: CB plus DA, comma DB. And if you see, this is nothing but C comma D plus A comma B. Okay, so this just shows that addition is commutative. Since we have this, plus is commutative. Also, just like that, let us also see whether multiplication is commutative. A comma B times C comma D. Multiplication is quite easy, much easier than addition. So this is equal to AC comma BD. So this is equal to CA comma DB, because the integral domain is commutative. Which shows that the multiplication on F is also commutative. Okay. Next we verify the associative laws. Next we calculate this expression. So this is going to be equal to AD plus BC, comma BD plus E comma F. Okay, now this becomes AD plus BC times F plus BD times E, comma BD times F. Using the distributive law, the right distributive law available in the integral domain, and the fact that multiplication is associative in the integral domain, we can write this expression like this: ADF plus BCF plus BDE, comma BDF. Now if one wants, one can look at this expression and try to figure out how to write this one with these two grouped together. But why do we have to think about that? I mean, we can just simply calculate the other thing and see whether the two of them are equal. So we write, and since our aim is to just show that the two calculations agree, that's all. So this one becomes CF plus DE, comma DF. This is equal to A times DF plus B times CF plus DE, comma B times DF. Again, this can be written as ADF plus BCF plus BDE, comma BDF. Now you see that these two are actually equal: ADF, BCF, BDE and BDF. Hence, EF is equal to B plus C, comma D plus E, comma F. That is addition is associative. Next, let us also see that multiplication is associative also, which will be much easier to show. This is equal to AC, comma BD, E, comma F, and this becomes AC times E, comma BD times F. So this is equal to, keeping in mind that the multiplication in the integral domain is associative, we can write these things, these parts, as A times CE, comma B times DF, which becomes a comma b times ce comma df, and this becomes equal to a comma b times c comma d times e comma f. That is the multiplication on f is also associative. Next we look for an additive identity. Okay, since d is non-zero, keep in mind that the case where d is the zero integral domain, we have already taken care of that in the beginning itself. So now we have a non-zero integral domain, so there will be a non-zero element. We can choose an element. Oh, by the way, see, the fact that we have non-zero elements in D allows us to have the set M in the first place, because if you remember, M is the set of those ordered pairs where the second coordinates are all non-zero. If D had no non-zero element, M would be empty. So on the empty set we can define a relation, and then we can do all the things, but in that case the set of equivalence classes will itself be empty. So how can we make an empty set a field? We cannot. So that's why the fact that F itself is non-empty tells us that there are non-zero elements in D. Anyway, so for any non-zero element, can choose a non-zero element G, then a comma b plus 0 comma g. This 0 is the zero element in the integral domain. This by definition is equal to what? ag plus b0 comma bg, which is equal to ag comma bg, and that is equal to a comma b. Why? You can write in brackets, within brackets, because the ordered pair ag comma bg is related to the ordered pair a comma b. To see why this is true, you just have to apply the definition of the relation that we already had. This is true if and only if AGB is equal to BGA, and that is definitely true. Why? Because you see, AB is equal to BA because we are working in an integral domain. So you multiply both sides by G, and since things are commutative and associative, so we get this, from there we get this one, and that implies this one. So you see that 0 comma G acts as an additive identity. Existence of such an additive identity is just enough. Once we prove that the system is a field, in fact once we prove that the system is a group with respect to addition, the additive identity will automatically be unique. Why I am talking about uniqueness is that you may have one question in mind. If you are choosing, instead of G, you say choose some other element G prime, then will you possibly get a different additive identity? You will see, just like we have shown that these two are equal, that these are also equal. Okay, so it doesn't matter what, see, it is just like 0 by G. It does not matter what denominator we take. The same is true here, just like that rational number thing. Actually, to show that this is an additive identity, we also have to ideally calculate 0, G plus A, B. But since we have already shown that the operation addition is commutative, so we don't have to do that. Okay, so acts as an additive identity. Now since we have to show everything that are there in a field, we will also at some point seek a unit element, that is multiplicative identity. So let us do that now itself. For any G not equal to 0, consider the element G not equal to 0 in D, that is understood. Okay, consider the element, oh, I have not written that this G is in D. You can understand from here what I am talking about. Since D is non-zero, so an element, a non-zero element has been chosen, it is from D. Consider the element G, G in F. Note that AB times G, G is equal to AG, BG, and we have already seen that this is equal to A, B. So acts as the unit element in F. We are writing the unit element because we can show that if there is, we have in fact shown that if there is a unit element, then it will be unique in a ring. Okay, so next what we do, next we look at additive inverse and multiplicative inverse for non-zero elements. Okay, next look at this one. If with this element I can add, if with this I add minus A, B, where minus A is the additive inverse of the element A in the integral domain, then according to my definition of addition, this is AB plus B times minus A, B, B. Okay, and since we are in an integral domain, so this becomes AB minus BA. The fact that this is equal to minus BA, it comes from those elementary properties that we proved in any general ring. If you remember, B, B. So this is equal to 0, B, B, and this is equal to 0, G. That is the additive identity, because you can see that these two things are actually equal. The denominator does not matter, as we have already said. So acts as the additive inverse of A, B. Okay. Next, if A is not equal to 0, then, or I should write it the other way around. If A, B is a non-zero element, zero, G say, then we must have A not equal to 0, because if A is 0, if the numerator, if we are willing to call this numerator and this as denominator, then if the numerator is 0, then that will be equal to the additive identity in F. So since this is a non-zero element, the numerator cannot be equal to 0. So the element B, A also makes sense, because now A is non-zero, so I can make A the denominator of some element and B as the numerator. Now this belongs to F such that AB times BA is equal to AB, BA, which is nothing but AB, AB, and you can show that this is nothing but G, G, the unit element. Hence, this acts as the multiplicative inverse of A, B. It's just like this. In case of rational number, you will have the rational number like this. If it is non-zero, then its multiplicative inverse is B by A, just like that. So there is a direct analogy between the this general case and the case of rational numbers. Okay, so the multiplicative inverse of A, B exists and is B, A, or we can also say that more compactly by writing like this, because this usually denotes the multiplicative inverse of an element in a ring. If it exists, this is equal to B, A. So we are almost, we have shown almost all the things except distributive law. There are two distributive laws. Because multiplication is commutative, we need to show only one. That will automatically tell us that the other is also true. So let us now go for that. And once we prove that distributive laws are true, f will become a field under these two operations, addition and multiplication. Okay. Finally, a comma b times c comma d plus e comma f is equal to a comma b times cf plus de comma df. So this is equal to, note that this is multiplication now. So a times cf plus de and b times df. Using the distributive law in the integral domain, I can write this as acf plus ade, and this one I can simply write as bdf. And let me also calculate the other thing, a comma b times c comma d plus a comma b times e comma f. So this gives me ac comma bd plus this one gives me ae comma bf. Now we add them. I think I need some ink. Okay, so this becomes AC times BF plus BD times AE comma BD times BF. And this is equal to, note that we can take B common out. Okay, a storm is raging outside. If we take B common out and carry out all the usual calculations, then we will be left with ACF plus ADE. Here also this term, here we can write B times BDF. Now just like, you can see that this element in F will be equal to ACF plus ADE comma BDF, as if we have cancelled B from the numerator and denominator. In fact, we have carried out one similar thing a while ago. So I leave it to you to see that these two equivalence classes are actually equal. For that, what you need, you consider the ordered pair where the first coordinate is this, the second coordinate is this. Also consider the ordered pair where the first coordinate is this and the second coordinate is this. Show that this ordered pair is related to this ordered pair according to our definition. From there you will conclude that these two are related and hence the corresponding equivalence classes are equal. So now you see ACF, ADE, BDF, so they are equal. Okay, hence A comma B times C comma D plus E comma F equals this plus E comma F, that is the distributive laws hold in F. Actually here we have shown that the left distributive law is true, but because multiplication has already been proved to be commutative, the right distributive law is automatically also true. So that's all the axioms for F to become a field. Thus F is or F has now been shown to be a field under the addition and multiplication we have defined on it. Okay, but the job is not over. Recall that we still have to show that the integral domain D can be embedded in this field. Okay, so next okay, define a mapping phi from the integral domain into our field by defining phi of A to be equal to AG comma G, where G is that non-zero element we have been using all along in D. Or we can just simply say where G belongs to D minus 0. Okay, clearly AG comma G belongs to F for any A belonging to D. Also, if G prime is another possibly different non-zero element in D, then AGG is equal to AG prime G prime, so that phi is well defined. That is, to each element A in the integral domain D, we are associating only one equivalence class. The G that is appearing here actually does not affect this equivalence class. It just has to be a non-zero element in the integral domain D. It does not matter which non-zero element you choose. Ultimately, the result is same. So that's why the image of every element is unique, and hence phi is a well defined map. Now we will show that phi is an embedding. That's all. That will get the job done. Okay. Let A and B be any two elements in D. Then phi of A plus B is equal to, according to our definition, this is A plus B times G, comma G. Okay, and this is equal to AG plus BG, comma G. And at the same time,